Welcome to the He's Got Issues Independent Comics Edition number 121.3. I'm John Cooney here to preview new independent comics being released May 14th, 2014, beginning alphabetically with Boom Studios and B and Puppycat number 1. Why we love it? Because Natasha Allegri is simply amazing. She's built up a big fan following on Tumblr while working on the Adventure Time cartoon, then created gender-swapping characters Fiona and Cake that became so popular they put them into the show. Then she created Bee and Puppycat, and it became the most funded web series project in Kickstarter history. How can we not publish it? Why, you'll love it? You might already love it if you're one of the thousands who supported the Kickstarter campaign, but for those of you just joining us, if you like stories that feature magical girls like Sailor Moon, Madoka Magica, and Powerpuff Girls, you'll enjoy Bee and Puppycat. It's a slice-of-life story with a twist, and it has so much comedy and enchantment you can't help but be swept up. What it's about? It's a quirky new take on the magical girl genre with Bee, the forever unemployed main character who can't seem to figure out life, and the mysterious Puppycat, a stray whatever it is. Next, we have Clive Barker's Next Testament number 9 of 12. Wick has his disciples and rules unopposed, but Tristan and Elspeth's actions force the Lord of Colors to reveal what he truly desires. We've also got Deceivers number 5 of 6. The deceived become the deceivers as Lincoln and Nikki team up with Patrice to entrap the corrupt intelligence agencies plaguing Europe. But when our con men are forced to choose between giving up their cover identities or dying in style, can Lincoln and Nikki return to life as normal American civilians Mark Linton and Scott Dunn? Next, we have Lumberjanes number 2 of 8. When you're a scout, nothing is more important than being prepared, but how do you prepare for legions of supernatural creatures threatening to beat down your scouting camp's door? Joe, April, Mal, Molly, and Ripley are about to find out. It's just supposed to be a normal day at camp with games and a bit of canoeing, but when the girls find themselves separated from the rest of the camp, they realize there really is a lot more going on, and it might be an unhelpful river monster that gives them the key to figuring out what is really going on. Don't miss out on the second issue of this hot new series from Noelle Stevenson and Grace Ellis. We've also got Returning number 3 of 4. As the police and federal law enforcement get closer to catching Marcus and Beth, Marcus introduces Beth to someone who understands her plight, but before they can connect, there's someone out to kill them who won't stop until the job is done. And we've got Sons of Anarchy number 9. With the Sons of Anarchy behind bars, it's up to Gemma and Tara to keep the home front safe. But sharks smell blood in the water, and Tara must use everything she's learned both as a doctor and an old lady to keep the club intact in Jax's absence. From Dark Horse Comics, we've got Abe Sapien number 12. Abe's journey takes a new turn as he meets a twisted couple in this rural horror story of a domestic relationship gone terribly awry. Next, we have Hellboy In Hell number 6. Hellboy revisits an old vampire acquaintance in the bowels of hell. We've also got Jack Kraken one-shot. Jack Kraken is the best agent the Humanoid Interaction Agency has. Using his extra-normal powers, Jack protects humans and humanoids alike from those who would kill them. Follow Jack's adventures rescuing kids and stomping the things that go bump in the night. Next, we have Star Wars number 17. As Princess Leia and her prince prepare for their wedding day on Aerochar, the uneasy feeling among the rebels, especially Han Solo, grows. Meanwhile, Luke, on an Alpine mission with local troops, discovers the Alliance's new friends aren't so friendly. We've also got Terminator, Enemy of My Enemy number 3 of 6. With her mission to kidnap biotechnician Elise Vaughn compromised by the appearance of a massive, seemingly invulnerable killer, ex-CIA operative Pharaoh Green calls on all her training for an epic one-woman war against the Stranger. Meanwhile, an army of mercenaries will stop at nothing to capture the Terminator technology. And we have X number 13. Betrayed by his friends and stripped of his mask, X will have to crawl from an iron prison to wrench his city from Tango's stranglehold. But a new gang, unlike any Arcadia has seen before, may be more than even X can handle. A new episode in the Project Black Sky event begins here. From Dynamite Entertainment, we have Ash in the Army of Darkness number 7. A new adventure awaits Ash in the Dark Wood as he tries to find evil Sheila and the Book of the Dead, but Sheila's too busy trying to resurrect a new undead husband to bother with Ash. Next, we have Miss Fury number 11, final issue. With Miss Fury now allied with U.S. Naval Intelligence, she is parachuted into wartime Europe in order to track down Schauberger's laboratory in Germany. Can't she find her kidnapped lover, Captain Chandler, there? And who is attacking Schauberger during his garbled ghostly messages? Nazi forces are everywhere, but a war can be fought on many fronts, as Miss Fury is about to discover. And we've got Shadow number 25, final issue. The zombie queen of Chinatown and her undead horde have the city in a death grip, and the Shadow knows that he cannot defeat them alone. Only with the help of his entire network of aides and associates is there a chance that he can save the city. From IDW Publishing, we have G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 202. With 2 new G.I. Joe headquarters active and ready to go, the Real American Hero team can tackle more threats than ever before. But after Cobra's failed takeover of the pit, the villainous organization takes a new tact and prepares for a new direction. Will G.I. Joe be up to the task of taking down the leaner, meaner Cobra? Find out in G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero number 202. Next, we have Judge Dredd number 19, The American Way of Death, Part 3. The Hall of Justice has fallen. Sector 1 has been overrun by Judge Death and his cronies. The Chief Justice and Council of 5 contemplate a desperate course of action that would have been unthinkable just a few days ago, yet now seems like the only sane choice in a world gone mad. But who's this walking through the ruins, clutching his lawgiver and sentencing death to you-know-what? Listen up, creeps. It's never over until Dredd says it's over. We've also got Kill Shakespeare number 1, 100 penny press game edition. In celebration of the launch of the Kill Shakespeare board game, IDW is proud to represent the book that started it all from our line of affordable reprints. Find out why everybody is talking about this brilliant reimagining of the Bard and his beloved characters. What Fables does for fairy folks, Kill Shakespeare does with the greatest writer of all time. Next, we have Lock and Key Head Games number 1, 100 penny press edition. Lock and Key might have recently wrapped, but the series is still finding new audiences every month. Here's a value-priced way to experience the start of the series' second storyline, the critically acclaimed Head Games. We've also got Mars Attacks Firstborn number 1 of 4. It's Mars Attacks like you've never seen it, from the co-creator of the Max and the team behind the Hollows. When Mars attacked Earth, the battle left no side unscarred, least of all a lonely old man and his blind niece, along with their first Martian child born on Earth. Will the child's warlike ways take over, or is there more going on here than it seems? Next, we have Rogue Trooper Classics number 1 of 12. Clone War, New Earth, a planet ravaged by war, its atmosphere poisoned by chemical weapons. In this battle-scarred landscape, the Norts and Southers fight where only the genetic infantryman can survive unaided. Rogue is one such soldier, and these are his tales. Created by Jerry Finley Day and Dave Gibbons of Watchmen, this series features the earliest stories surrounding one of 2000 AD's best-loved characters, all in color for the very first time. We've also got Star Trek New Visions number 1, The Mirror Cracked by John Byrne. Following up on last year's hugely successful Strange New Worlds photo novel, John Byrne once again set sail aboard the Starship Enterprise, this time with an ongoing bi-monthly series that begins by going through the looking glass to tell the story of what happened after the classic Mirror Mirror episode of the original series. The crew discovers 2 strangers in their midst, and quickly learns that one has made a pact with one of James Kirk's oldest foes. The Mirror Cracked is the title, and the action unfolds in May. Next, we have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles New Animated Adventures number 11. When a malfunctioning footbot starts following Mikey's lead, he's convinced he's got the perfect sidekick. But what happens when his brothers find out and the foot comes looking for it? Plus, part 1 of a LEGO tribute to the classic TMNT origin story. We've also got Transformers More Than Meets the Eye number 29, Standoff. While the crew of the Lost Light react to Megatron's arrival with characteristic maturity, calling him names behind his back and ignoring him when he speaks, one Autobot is convinced that a more direct approach is needed. Guess what happens when a one-time tyrant is told he's not wanted? Yeah, exactly. Next, we have Weird Love number 1. From the people that bring you the acclaimed haunted horror comic comes a horror like no other, Weird Love. Weird Love presents the most sexy, bizarro, sick, twisted, politically incorrect, kinky romance comics of the 1950s and beyond. In this OMG I can't believe this first ish, you're going to be astonished to read luridly illustrated pulp comics fiction like Love of a Lunatic, I Fell for a Commie, The Taming of the Brute, The Wacko, You Also Snore Darling, and more. This collector's edition, which begins the Weird Love series, ends with a pre-code comic ode to the female derriere. No wonder the censors wanted this stuff banned. Sure to be a must-have, big buzz comic, and it's bargain priced. And we've got Wraith, Welcome to Christmasland number 6 of 7. Chapter 5, Shoot the Moon. A laughing, malevolent moon rises over Christmasland and turns red snow black as Agnes Claiborne and Chess Llewellyn make a final doomed, desperate run for freedom. Every cruel child is on the hunt for them. Every cruel ride is engineered for their destruction. As if that wasn't bad enough, King Geek is looking to claim a new title for himself as the new Lord of Christmasland. From Image Comics, we've got The Bounce number 12, Get Ready for the End of the World. Nothing you've seen so far could prepare you for the event that occurs in this issue, and The Bounce is at ground zero. After this, nothing will ever be the same. Buy it and love it. Next, we have Field number 2 of 4. The Smoke Eaters are in hot pursuit of Christian and our still nameless hero. Secrets will be revealed. Friends will be betrayed. A man's face will be turned into hamburger. We've also got Krampus number 5. The bad news, as blizzards rage across the globe, humanity's fate rests with the Krampus deciding who he stands with, his oppressors in the Society of Santa Clauses, or the mastermind who rendered them powerless. The worst news, the Krampus is no fan of humanity. The first storyline concludes here. Next, we have Mice Templar 4 Legend number 10. Like a torch to the kindling, Pilot and Tall invokes death magic to discover the truth behind Carrick's destiny, and what he discovers promises doom to all who follow the noble young mouse. Meanwhile, Carrick and Cassius return to the Field of Ruin, Avalon, where the Templar fell, and must prove their loyalty to the assembled remnant, as well as their identity to ravenous cats seeking his legend. We've also got Minimum Wage number 5. Alone in his new place with nothing but wisecracking radioactive horseshoe crabs, adult gigs, and his own toxic thoughts, Rob plays matchmaker and also embarks on a clandestine courtship with a saucily familiar face in the 5th chapter of Bob Fingerman's So Real It Hurts series. Next, we have Shudder number 2. Kate Christopher has been kidnapped by a robot, a few rat kids in cute outfits, and a bunch of ninja ghosts. Luckily, the NYPD pursues them in their flying saucers. Everything goes horribly wrong. Death happens. We've also got Starlight number 3. Duke and his young companion begin their first adventure together. To the people of Tantalus, Luke is a hero and savior. Now he's their last chance to vanquish the new menace that has invaded the peace-loving world he left behind. But 4 decades have passed. Duke's not the young man he once was, and the enemy he faces is more powerful than anything he faced in the good old days. The stakes are raised, and the weight of Duke's own conscience might be his heaviest burden yet. Next, we have Stray Bullets Killers number 3. For 50 years, Paul has lived the life of a dead man, crushed by the weight of routine and responsibility of sacrifice to his supposed loved ones. Other people seem so alive, so happy. Paul's seen them and he wants to be one of them. Today, in his 55th year, Paul is going to stop living in fear. He's going to throw off the yoke of his oppressors. He's going to do the things he's always wanted to do before life slips him by. But first, Paul's going to craft a plan, a cunning plan to hurt and kill his enemies. We've also got Tales from the Con Year 1. Collects the first year of Tales from the Con along with bonus material. If you've been to a comic convention, you'll recognize the scenes in Tales from the Con, the irreverent webcomic that has appeared on the Emerald City Comic Con website since 2012. Written by Eisner nominee Brad Geiger of Evil Inc. and How to Make Webcomics, and illustrated by Chris Giarrusso of G-Man and Mini Marvels, Tales from the Con is an uproarious take on the world of comic books and conventions. Fanboys, fangirls, cosplayers, retailers, volunteers, and pros repeatedly collide on the convention floor and beyond to prove that comic conventions are 1 part festival, 2 parts group therapy. Next, we have Think Tank, Fun with PTSD number 1, special oversized issue. Dr. David Lauren tries to help a SEAL team member overcome his PTSD in a story that will make you laugh and cry. Plus, 0G dogs. And we've got The Walking Dead 127, double-sized issue for only $2.99. In the aftermath of all-out war, we discover a new beginning. From Valiant Entertainment, we have Bloodshot and Hardcore number 22. All new arc, start reading here. Bloodshot versus Hardcore. The one-man army known only as Bloodshot is forced to turn his guns on his own people. Project Rising Spirit, the private military organization that created Bloodshot, enlisted him to fight on their side, and Bloodshot, seeking his own secret justice, agreed. Now his agenda comes to light, and Bloodshot turns around to destroy Rising Spirit once and for all. And we've got Quantum and Woody number 10, Quantum and Woody Against the World. Woody always had a weakness for the ladies, and when an old flame lures the Goofus into a gang of mad science super crooks, Woody flips back to his old lawless ways. Where does this leave Woody's sweet clone girlfriend? And now it's up to his own brother Eric, who isn't that sure he even wants to be a superhero, to bring Woody in. Don't miss this bro down for the ages. Okay, so that's a look at some of the top independent publishers this week, but there's still plenty of other books out as well, so be sure to check out my YouTube channel at he'sgotissues.com to see both the Marvel and DC videos for this week, as well as my usual roundup of all my favorites for the week with a little more depth and insight than you get here. And if you like these videos, be sure to let me know by leaving a comment and subscribing. You can also follow He's Got Issues on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, and Tumblr to see everything I'm reading as I read it. So until next week, I'm John Cooney, and I've got issues.